someone heard me asked me about Sefaria. It's a website on the internet that has many Sifrei Torah, Sifrei Kodesh, that were translated to English. Some not, but many have, probably more than any other website that I know of at least. They have an app that's very interactive, and someone asked me, should I use this website? Is this website kosher? And I responded, I think it was off camera, so I'll respond again. If you have the ability to buy the book, let's say, for example, there's a book you want to read. You want to read a certain Gemara, or you want to read a certain Chumash, or you want to read a certain Musar books, and that book is available in English for you to buy, then do not use Sefaria. Go buy the book. Go buy the book. Okay, for a few reasons. But if it's not available in book format, for whatever reason, it's not available, then obviously you may have to use Sefaria or websites like it. There's another one it's called Merkava, Mercava, I think it is. That is also very good, and that one is actually, from my knowledge, is 100% kosher. It doesn't have as many things translated as Sefaria, but nonetheless, they're getting there. The point is, why buy the book and not just get a free ride? For a couple of reasons. Number one, it's always good to have Sifrei Kodesh in your house. If you're going to read them, not if you're just going to collect them. Not furniture pieces. I'm talking about books you're going to read. It's always good to have books you're going to read in your house. Number two, Sefaria is not available on Yom Tov or on Shabbat. Why? Because you're not allowed to use it. So if you want to read that book on Yom Tov or Shabbat, how are you going to do it? You need a book. That's number two. Number three, when you hold a book, if you're a reader, you hold a book, that book becomes like a little baby to you. Okay? You don't want to leave that book. You read something on the internet, it's almost like informal. It's like, it's like a friend. It's like a friend. Oh yeah, I read something, I don't really remember where, but it was some website. But if you read something in a book that impacted you, you know where it is, you know what it is, you know the page number, you know the 3 words before, 87 words after. Why? That's your baby. That's your baby. We just moved to a house recently, and we had to reorganize my books and so on. So I have some books, my books, and I have some of the kids' books, and I have some books that are like neutral, that I let them use also and so on. So I told my wife, okay, so let's put the books over here, my books in this, and the ones that I use all the time. She said, okay, fine. So she started putting the books, and she stopped. So I went and I got a few more books. She goes, what? I told you, I put all the books you said. I said, yeah, but I also need that one. Oh, okay. And then I also need that one. Oh, okay. And before you know it, I'm carrying like piles and piles of books, and she's laughing at me. And she goes, you can't let them go, can you? I'm like, I don't know, they're next to me. I know if they're next to me, they're going to be okay. If they're next, I need them to be next to me. Now, I'm going to read 1,000 books at once? No, but they're next to me. Why? Because it's books. So that's another reason. For me, again, anyone that's a reader, having a book is a world apart from having a website, if you will. Now, of course, again, there are many, many good sources that I use and many other people use to learn on the internet. And there's online books, and even on our website, there is an ebook section that you can download some books for free and print them out or just read them. But if you have access to get a hard copy, it's always better. Now, that's the easy part. The hard part is what this question is. The last part is, as I said, is that Sefaria is not reliable. And that's the reason, that's really the biggest reason of why I don't recommend you use it unless you have no other option. And what do I mean by Sefaria not being reliable? Number one, many of their translations have certain issues because they use not just Orthodox teachings, not just Orthodox rabbis, but also Reform and Conservative. And and people that have not been really reliable as far as their translations and their dat Torah. But if that wasn't bad enough, they also use Christianity. They also use it at times, not all the time, but at times they use Christianity as sources for commentary. So yeah, you can have Rashi, you can have Tosfot, you can have Balaturim, you can have Rambam, you can have Yoshke. What? Where did this come from? Now, when I first ran into it, I was certain this is a mistake. I was certain somebody planted a bug. There's no way these people are Jewish people. Why would they have, some Christian sources for commentary? Why would they do such a thing? So I contacted, and somebody else also contacted Sefaria and asked them, there's a mistake on your website. There's Christian commentary. There's Christian commentary. And they said, no, it's not a mistake. And also the Reform. I also asked them about that. There's commentary that's not, it's wrong. There's certain things that, yes, it's used by Reformed people, conservative people are translating the words this way, but it's wrong. I said, no, it's not wrong. We use these specific sources, which also includes the Reform, conservative, and Christianity at times. It's a free-for-all. So it's not a mistake. Now, you're going to say, yeah, but I never saw it. Okay, so I'll give you a source. Because nothing is valuable without a source, as we always say. Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkenos has a sefer called Tana Deve Eliezer. And it's a midrash commentary. It's very, very well known. It was published somewhere in the neighborhood of about 500-600 years ago. And has some fantastic stories and background and so on. In that particular book, you will see that they have Christian commentary, which obviously completely does not belong there, completely is inappropriate. So that's one source. I'm sure you'll find other sources on your own. Like I said, they have some good there too. But unfortunately, like all other conservative and reform mentalities, it cannot be relied upon. It cannot be relied upon, meaning use it as a last resort. You need something really quickly. You already have a good understanding of something. You don't have the book right there and then. Yeah, maybe but if you have access to the book, get the $20 together, $30 together, however much it costs, and go buy yourself a book. So that's the reason why Sefaria is on my bad list for that. And again, I also use them at times. Like I said, for those desperate times where I need something specific and last minute before a lecture, I need to print something out, I'll use it because I can also translate. I don't need to rely on their translations, Baruch Hashem, many times. But the point being is that if somebody is selling you, let's say, food, okay? Somebody's selling you food. Why do you eat food? Because you want to live, right? So if somebody's selling you food, and you go to a store on a regular basis, you eat, everything is good, right? But then another guy opens a store next door, and he has better looking food, much better looking food. His apples are much more red, much more green. His chocolate is from all types of places you never even heard of. It's meat. It looks like it's like jumping to your mouth. You can't wait to shop there. But then, right before you enter, right before somebody goes, hold on a second, and he gives you a little note. Hey, is it? You read the note. It says, you see the guy's picture? You see this? Oh, this guy has killed 1,000 people. This guy has killed 1,000 people with his food because sometimes he likes to put poison in it just to see what happens, just to give everybody a chance. Every apple, there's 1,000 apples, one apple has poison in it. Let's see if you're the lucky guy. I'm not putting poison in every apple. I'm not putting poison in every book. But once in a while, you're going to find poison. Are you going to go buy? It looks delicious. Are you going to go buy? No, you're not going to go buy. Why? Because it's not reliable. Same concept here. Same concept with other rabbis that speak well and say nice things and have even done nice things. If they have the wrong ideology, if they say things that are against the Torah, the Gemara in Masechet Moed Katan, page 17, says you're not allowed to study from them. What? Not allowed to study Torah? Not allowed to study anything. Because if they're not reliable when it comes to Torah, they're not reliable in regards to anything. Can't say, oh no, but I could learn from him. No. If he's a heretic, openly, distorting the Torah, when it comes to Torah, you cannot learn from him. Simply can't. Simply can't. So that's the thing. One little bit of poison put there intentionally is already more than enough. Now, once in a while, somebody makes a mistake. Somebody makes a mistake, and he's cooking, and instead of putting some salt there, he puts some chemical that he has, in his chemist lab. By accident. You're a chemist. I'm sure you have some things that look like salt, right? You put something that looks like salt in the cholent, and somebody dies. It's not a good news, right? But it was an accident. You can't tell that guy, he's not a murderer. He made okay, it's a careless mistake, but you can't say that guy's a murderer, he's the worst guy in the world. Can't. It's a mistake. Mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. You don't judge people based on mistakes. Mistakes are mistakes. But if somebody intentionally puts the poison there, and even after you bring it to their attention, the damage that it could cause, and they still don't care, that's not a reliable person. It's not a reliable person. That's a person that says, listen, I'm going to sell 1,000 apples. One of the apples is going to have poison in it. You want to use my apples? At your own risk. At my own risk. Here you go. I don't want to take a risk at all. How about that? That's it. That's as simple as. So, you go to Tana Debe Eliezer, you'll see commentary by Christians. I'm sure you'll see it in other places too, but the point being is, even without this, I still would recommend books. You go to reliable publishers, whether it be Art Scroll, Feldheim, Uznaim, and several others that I can't remember off the top of my head, depending on what kind of books you want. There is you could go to Ben Israel Books, you can go to Sepharim Center, you can go to Art Scroll. There's a lot of websites that sell Jewish books, Judaica stores if you want. Point being is, you have to make sure that the books that you're buying are coming from kosher publishers. Because the publisher is even more important than anyone else, because even the publishers have a certain metrics that they're willing and not willing to publish. They're not. You can't. Let's say, for example, a atheist or a person that's a missionary cannot call one of these Jewish publishers that I just mentioned and say, listen, I want to publish a new book about Yoshke. They can't. Why? Because this goes against the nature of the company and what they stand for. So you have to rely on the publishers a lot. And why? Because they don't want to put their readers at risk. I don't want to put you at risk, and that's why I say the things that perhaps other people don't want to say, but it has to be said.
B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new Bezrat Hashem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the Shiurim that we do, myself, Rabbi Ephraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Kiruv and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Call to B'chava Tzlacha.